Hey, welcome. Sometimes the biggest lessons come from the smallest stories. And today, we're going to dive into a short but really powerful story about what it means to make a difference, even when no one is watching. So, our whole story really starts with this one beautiful idea. Think about it: a small lamp lighting a path for a journey it would never, ever take itself. The hero of our story, well, it's not what you'd expect. It's a small lamp. And, just like a lot of us, it lives in a world where it's constantly wondering, do I even matter? So picture this. We find our lamp all by itself, just standing on the edge of this long, narrow road. And you have to understand, its world is, well, it's a lonely one. Most nights, that road is completely empty. There's nobody there. Nobody to see its light. I mean, you could almost feel it, right? That feeling of isolation, the cold, the deep quiet. This is what it's like for the lamp, night after night. So where does all this doubt even come from? Well, when people did come by, they just walked past. They never seemed to even notice it was there. And the lamp knew it wasn't some huge, powerful searchlight. It couldn't light up the whole road. Heck, it even flickered when the wind blew, feeling so small and fragile. You can see how all that would just start to eat away at you, right? And it all boils down to this one question that just hangs in the air. A question I think we've all asked ourselves at some point. Seriously, what's the point? Okay, but here's where everything changes. One night, one simple action ends up revealing a purpose so much bigger than the lamp ever could have imagined. So imagine one of those super foggy nights where you can barely see your hand in front of your face, and out of that fog comes a traveler, and you can just tell they're completely lost, they're exhausted, and they are absolutely terrified of the dark. And this right here is the most important part of the whole story. The lamp didn't suddenly get stronger. It didn't do anything special or flashy. Its one great act was simply this. It just stayed on. So let's break down how this actually worked. The lamp did its one job. It just stayed on. And that tiny bit of light, it was just enough for the traveler to see where to take one single step. And then the next one. And just like that, step by tiny step, the whole road slowly came into view. And what this all really gets at is this amazing idea of the quiet ripple effect. This idea that you can have a huge impact without ever getting any credit for it. But you know what's just as important as what happened? It's what didn't happen. The traveler didn't stop to say thank you. There was no applause. The lamp never found out who they were or where they were going. It got zero validation for what it did. And see, that's the point. Its purpose was never about getting something back. It just kept doing its one small thing, offering a little bit of light with no strings attached. And here's the thing. That traveler, they weren't the only one. Night after night, more people came down that road. And for every single one of them, their journey was just a little bit safer, a little bit easier, all because that one small lamp chose to stay lit. Its impact was so real, even if it was totally invisible. Okay, so that's a nice story, right? But what does this little metaphor actually have to do with us in our lives? We have this idea in our heads that to make an impact, it has to be this big, loud thing. It has to get noticed. It has to be some grand gesture. But the truth about kindness, it's usually the exact opposite. Its power is in the quiet moments. It's absolutely real, even when no one sees it. And sometimes the smallest act can change a person's entire direction. I really want you to let this next part sink in. You might never, ever see the ripple effect of your kindness. You might never know how your small act of support helped someone through a tough time. But that doesn't mean it didn't happen. It absolutely did. It is real. So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's really this simple. Be the lamp. Even when it feels small, even when you think nobody notices or that it doesn't matter. Stay kind. Because you just never know when your one small, steady light is exactly what someone else needs to find their way through the dark. Stay lit.